The fight for planet Earth rages on. Even society's rich and mollycoddled are rolling up their sleeves and getting their hands dirty. Why, just look at Karina Bucksworth. This debutante is living proof that you're never too privileged to take one for the team. As long as team time doesn't interfere with tea time. Karina Bucksworth, new Mew Mew, next week, only on 4Kids TV.
Next time on the Mew Mews, we go back to the beginning. Yeah! Find out how I went from a normal girl, I think I'm turning into a cat, well, sort of, to Super Mew Mew, bravely battling the forces of evil. It's really quite amusing. Sorry, couldn't resist. Anyway, see you next time on the Mew Mews. Next time on the Mew Mews. The new Health at Cafe Mew Mew isn't much help at all.
I'd love to give you a hand, but I'm on break.
How am I supposed to save the world and stuff if I'm always pulling double shifts? And speaking of stuff, there's some seriously spooky stuff going on at Excalibur High.
They say it's the ghost of a young girl and she comes out at night wandering the school.
And it's no pool party. But it's nothing I can't handle. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. I'm still totally freaked out over that slimeball Dren sneaking a kiss. Every time I see Mark, I act like a complete freakazoid. When he asks me to go to the amusement park with him, I don't know what to do. Thankfully, Mini Mew sets me on the right path and we have a really cool time. Everything goes great until Dren drops in and spoils all the fun. But don't worry, it's nothing me and the Mews can't handle. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, just when I'm beginning to think Elliot's a real killjoy, he goes and throws a party, and we're all invited. It's the biggest, fanciest event of the whole year, with entertainment and everything. I even get to bust a move a little. Well, I bust something. It's the perfect party! At least until a certain pointy-eared party pooper shows up, then things really hit a sour note. We've got to be careful, that's no ordinary parasite. Let's hope we can save this soiree. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, a nice day in the park turns into a ridiculous goose chase when some totally annoying street performer kid sees me go into Mew Mew mode. Could you imagine the kind of tips I would make if I could turn into a cat like you during my show? Now I've got to get away before she finds out these ears aren't exactly a Halloween costume. And just when my day can't get any crazier, Dren shows up with some Samba mutant lizard monster to make the party complete. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, just when the daily grind of cappuccinos and customers is about to get to us, Bridget wins an all-expense-paid trip for her and her friends to a fancy resort spa. Well, fancy's not exactly the word. I mean, what kind of massage can you get with a bulldozer? And what's with those chimps? Anyway, maybe our new friend Marco can help us solve the mystery. That is, if Dren doesn't get to him first. I thought spas were supposed to be relaxing. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, you get to come with us on a tour of Karina's fabulous mansion. She's got tons of servants, a closet full of amazing outfits, and a humongous dining room where the food is totally top-notch. Oh, and that's Karina's brother, Sergio. They used to be close, but not anymore, which is kind of a bummer, since Karina's got a pretty big day coming up. Oh well, guess it's me and the girls to the rescue. I got him! Got him! If we could only get rid of that pirouetting parasite. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, there's some mysterious superhero battling to protect people from monsters in the shadows of the night. But this superhero might not be so super after all. Turns out she might be working for the Cineclons. Or she might just be your average international pop star with special powers who gets a kick out of fighting monsters in her spare time. Or she might be both, an evil international pop sensation bent on world destruction. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, getting the ultra-glam Renee Roberts to leave the good life and join up with us Mews might be our toughest assignment yet. And we thought Karina had an attitude.
Excuse me?
She's just gotta say yes! With the future of the Mews at stake, Renee just might be our only hope.
Say goodbye to your little friends, kitty kitty.
Things are looking pretty desperate. Will Renee join the team, or will she go solo? Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. It's time for the big Kendo tournament. What? You've never heard of Kendo? It's a sport where guys hit each other with sticks. Everyone's totally psyched, but I'm still freaking out over my coast-to-coast Mew Mew debut. Talk about a primetime disaster. Just when I get up enough courage to finally face Mark, leave it to Dren to pull what just might be his slimiest trick ever. And that's saying something. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. After battling a Predacite with a real appetite for destruction, well, really an appetite for anything, me and the girls suddenly realized that Mini-Mew's missing, and he's nowhere to be found. What are we gonna do?
I vote for shopping.
We think he may have been captured by the Cineclons, and who knows what they've got planned for him. We've got to find our furry little friend, and fast. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, Bridget is so, majorly crushing on this super hot college guy she met at the library. Okay, got the girly gossip talk out of the way. But seriously, Bridget is in love, and we're helping her deal with it calmly and rationally.
Confess your love, confess your love, confess your love. Are you girls totally crazy? I mean...
Secret loves, broken hearts, and perilous battles with ravenous book-eating dust mite monsters. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. Goodbye, Algebra. Hello, summer vacation. 2 whole months of swimming, sunning, and hunting down evil psychotic weirdos bent on destroying the planet. Sounds like a real blast. That's why I'm planning a day trip with Mark. You know, somewhere really special where there's peace, quiet, and a complete lack of alien life forms. Well, it was a nice idea anyway. See you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. Sordon and Tarb keep the Predacite pranks coming. But there's one Cineclon that's barking up the wrong tree. Dren meets the Blue Knight. Who is this guy anyway? Kiki thinks she knows. But it just doesn't seem possible. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. How lucky can you possibly get? Well, if you're one of the Mew Mews, pretty lucky. Guess who's going on an all-free, all-fun tropical island getaway? You've got it, and we're totally psyched. They'll be swimming, surfing, snacking, and of course, a healthy dose of heartwarming, inspirational drama. Not to mention teenage angst and a giant enemy anemone. Say that 5 times. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, when everyone's favorite monkey Mew Mew gets the flu.
Kiki!
We discover the secret life of Kiki. And believe me, it's no picnic. Ugh, how does she do it? Taking care of 4 demon brothers and a baby sister? No thanks. And on top of that, she's got to fight a mutant chicken monster with an egg launcher. Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews. First, Karina has a really weird dream that freaks her out and makes her act like a spoiled brat. I mean, you know, more than usual. Then, Elliot discovers a mysterious substance that might make us all even more powerful. Which, of course, means the Cineclons will stop at nothing to get their creepy hands on it. But it gets worse, because now Karina wants to leave the Mew Mews. How can she even think that? Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, I face one of my toughest enemies ever. Homework! And nobody seems to want to bail me out.
I am in no shape to help you, Zoe. I'm seriously freaking out.
Then, to make matters worse, that pint-sized Cineclon Tarb sends out a swarm of psycho cicadas. Oh, why do these things have to happen to me? Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power. Next time on the Mew Mews, Megan and Mimi temporarily lose their minds and go gaga for Elliot and Wesley. And here's the kicker. They want me to set them up. Talk about mission impossible. Those two science geeks would rather do stupid experiments than take out my best friends. But the joke's on them when the lovebirds get their revenge.
You've got to do something or these parasites are gonna have us for lunch!
Anyway, see you next week on an all-new Mew Mew Power.
一体何なの？私はごく普通の恋する少女なのよ。これじゃあまるで猫じゃない。だけど可愛いからまあいっか。5人の女の子たちがキュートでおしゃれな正義の味方に大変身。地球のすべての生き物のために戦うにゃ。みんな行くよ。ミュウミュウストロベリーメタモレフォーゼ。東京ミュウミュウは毎週土曜日朝8時から放送中。地球の未来にご奉仕するにゃ。
5 ragazze e un segreto.
Cos'è quella creatura orrenda?
Vedo sorpresa.
Strawberry in pericolo!
Ma è spaventoso! Dobbiamo intervenire subito!
Per affrontare le emergenze da invasioni aliene,
Metamorfosi!
arriva la squadra delle Mew Mew, amiche vincenti. Dal 5 ottobre tutti i giorni alle 10:20 e 16:40 su Hero.
Tune in for Mew Mew Power, a series about 5 teenage girls who channel the powers of endangered animals while trying to save the Earth from an alien invasion.
Well, Mama never thought I'd be chased by aliens!
When evil monsters called Predicites try to take over the planet, it's up to the girls to stop them.
Those cuties are still kicking up a pretty mean fight.
And if that isn't hard enough, they still have to juggle an after-school job, homework, and boys.
You interrupted Bridget's heartfelt confession of true love!
That's Mew Mew Power, now showing on Pop Girl.
Due to popular demand, Mew Mew Power is back! Join Zoe, Karina, Bridget, Renee and Kiki at 5 p.m. every day as they use their powers to save the Earth, as well as juggle schoolwork, a job and boys. Wow, that's cool! Mew Mew Power every day at 5 p.m. on Pop Girl.